Hello, mamas. Welcome to Monday. How is it going for you so far? Well, I gotta say, Monday is a hell of a lot better for me than Friday was. And I wanted to share this message with you then. It got a little bit nuts. There was a lot to process and work through. So here's something that I want to leave you with. A quick little message. So if you ever feel completely overwhelmed by life, by your kids screaming, by whatever the situation is, and you just want to cry, what do I suggest you do? I don't know if this is going to surprise you, but go cry. Just go do it. Just let it out. I cannot tell you how many times, for how many years, I tried to just hold it together. I'm like, I can't fall apart because I am the rock of this family, because ain't nobody got time for that, because it's a sign of weakness. All kinds of stories, all right? But I'm here to tell you that it is okay to cry. It is okay to lose your shit, not ideally at your kids or at other people, but you know what? I will tell you what I do as much as possible. I don't always get access to my closet or to the car by myself, but here's what I do. So first of all, as many of you know, look, the emotions come up for a reason. They're bubbling up, and sooner or later, they're gonna come out. And one of my favorite visuals of this that my coach has given me a couple years ago was the beach ball. Okay, so if you have a beach ball and you're in the pool and there's one beach ball, you can kind of, and you're like, I don't want anybody to see the beach ball, so I'm gonna push it down. And then you look a little awkward, like maybe you're like, you gotta fart but you can't, or you don't want the bubbles to come out of the water, so you're pushing the beach ball down. But then what happens when another beach ball comes, and another one, and another one? And here you are awkwardly trying to keep all the beach balls under the water. That shit doesn't work. It just does not work. Sooner or later, the beach balls are gonna come to the surface, and probably all at once. So what do you do? What can you do to relieve yourself of having to hold all these damn beach balls under the water? It's a lot of work. It's really exhausting. It looks super awkward. People can tell that something's up, and then you look like constipated or you know, what's going on? You have a calf cramp. So, hey Jen, Amber, Stephanie, good to see you ladies. Hi Danielle. So instead of trying to hold the beach balls beneath the surface and looking super awkward doing it, let that shit go. You feel like the emotions are coming up, let them out. Friday, they came out in a very inconvenient context for me because I was on the way back home from the Y. Good afternoon, Amber. I was on the way back home from the Y with all four of the kids. We went for a second visit that day to go to the pool. Alexi lost her jacket. What else happened? There were a couple other things that happened that were small, but to me, it just set me over the edge because I had been neglecting certain feelings that had been bubbling up throughout the previous days. And this anxiety was building. And before I knew it, Alexi losing her jacket, like she has more jackets. It's not like it's her only jacket. That was ultimately the thing that like crushed me. And I bawled the whole way home from the freaking YMCA. It was like a 15-minute drive with rush hour and stuff. And the kids were all silent in their seats. They're like, we don't know what's wrong with mommy. We don't know what's going on. She hasn't done this in a long time in front of us. But at that point, you know what? It felt so good to get it out. And I told them, guys, here's what's going on. Here's what's on my mind. And you guys don't need to worry. You guys do not need to worry. You're kids. But the older kids are old enough to have a lot of these conversations and understand what's really going on. I can't really hide things from them when I'm not feeling good, when my emotions are off. So letting it out, ideally for me, since about a year and a half ago, this is what I've started doing, is releasing the emotions in private, especially when it's anger, especially when it's resentment, especially when it's any kind of frustration. Because what would happen before is I would release my frustration at my kids. I would snap at them. I would unleash the rage at my husband. And that stuff does not work. Sure, you get to unload, but then there's damage to be repaired. And that stuff, you can't unsay the things that you say or undo the things that are done. So if you can, the next time that you do feel overwhelmed or you feel like it's just all too much, or you just the emotions are really intense, take a moment, take a few minutes, however long you can manage to get to separate yourself for a bit, and release it. Release it. We call it releasing the rage, because the context that I most apply this to is with my husband. And last year in particular, there was a lot of releasing the rage. And what that would look like is Ryan would come up to his closet and beat the shit out of his ottoman instead of screaming his head off at me. What it would look like is me going into my closet or going into the car and just screaming my head off. There's something cleansing about vocalizing this stuff. If you absolutely must, type it out. Type that stuff out. Just get it out. Get it out. Don't leave it trapped in. It is literally toxic to your body. So however you can do that. Sometimes just pound on a pillow. We do this exercise at the retreat for like 45 minutes per person. And there is a lot of stuff in there, you guys, that when you begin to tap in, it's like, holy smokes, I did not know that I felt that way. I did not know that was in there. And it is really cleansing. It feels so good to get that stuff out. So anyway, getting all the unacknowledged, unaddressed emotions actually acknowledged and addressed. And then sitting with it, being with what is. My thing is that I typically want to rush out of the uncomfortable emotions. I just want to be okay already. Just want to be done with that. Just want to feel good again. But often that is exactly the thing that gets in the way of feeling truly good when I don't just sit with the pain and really look at it. Because then what happens is it's like a false sense of being better, but then that shit comes right back. So anyway, the next time you feel overwhelmed, you feel like crying, you feel like you're losing your shit, do it. Go lose your mind somewhere. Go lose your shit. And if you're in a place where it's absolutely not appropriate or you can't go have the solitude that you need to do that, then just write it out. Write it out on a note. Write it out physically. Throw it away, burn it, rip it apart. Just get it out of you. Because that stuff is not serving nobody. Double negatives. That stuff does not serve anybody. Okay. All right, ladies. I'm gonna take off. I need to finish my chocolate ketones came in today a day early. Amber, you'll appreciate this. Girlfriend, I was out of Swiss cacao for like 5 days and I didn't know what to do with myself. So anyway, I'm back to my second half dose of ketones a day. All right, ladies, have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you again in here soon. Bye.